Hey, this is Pastor Randy with Menorah Minute. Today I want to ask you something, and that is, should we as believers be observing Easter? Now, many people believe that Easter is something we should be doing, but I want to ask, again, should we as believers be observing Easter? So this is from the Westminster Dictionary of the Bible, and here's what it says about Easter. It says, originally the spring festival in honor of the Teutonic goddesses Light and Spring, known in Anglo-Saxon as Estri. As early as the 8th century, the name was transferred by the Anglo-Saxons to the Christian festival designed to celebrate the resurrection of Christ. So here we find the answer, and the answer is no, we should not be observing Easter. It's pretty simple. Easter was borrowed and adopted by and from the pagans. And as believers, we should be abstaining from this. We should not learn, as we find in Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2, the ways of the heathen. We should be worshiping Yahweh as we find within His Word, and what we don't find within His Word is Easter. Now, we do find it once in Acts 12, verse 4, but this is actually a mistranslation. The Greek is Pascha, and Pascha in the Greek simply means Passover, which really lends to another question, that is, why would we be observing the Messiah's resurrection? There's nothing in Scripture that says we should be observing this time. But what Scripture does say is this. Scripture says that we should be observing His death. And we do that during Passover. And we find Passover in the Old and New Testament. We find Passover in passages like Exodus 12. But we also see Passover in the New Testament. Many, many passages showing that Paul observed this day. Paul even encouraged that the assembly should observe the Passover in the feast that followed. So, again, the question is, should we as believers be observing Easter? The answer is obviously no. We should not be observing a day that was borrowed and taken from paganism. Yahweh says again, learn not the way of the heathen. Don't do as the heathens do. Don't worship me as the heathens do. And yet we find the world doing precisely that. They are worshiping as the heathens. As believers, though, if we want to get it right, if we want to really do what Scripture says, we're going to be observing a Passover and not Easter. So I would encourage you to really consider this, especially if you're new to this message. Maybe you've never heard about Easter being adopted from paganism, but if you haven't, again, I would encourage you to consider what you've heard today. And I would also encourage you to like this video, to share this video, to subscribe to this channel. And with that, I thank you for watching, and may Yahweh bless you.